Unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt. Imagine a land where giant stone puzzles touch the sky, a place where kings became gods and secrets were buried for thousands of years. But what if the biggest secrets are still hidden, right beneath our very noses? Ancient Egypt is a world of wonder, famous for its amazing pyramids, golden treasures, and powerful pharaohs. Yet, even after hundreds of years of digging and studying, many things about this ancient land still confuse smart people all over the world. These are not just small questions. These are huge mysteries that make us wonder if we truly understand everything about this incredible civilization. From how they built their massive structures to where some of their most famous leaders truly rest, the sands of Egypt guard secrets that time has refused to give up. One of the greatest unsolved puzzles is the building of the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's so big, so perfect, that it's hard to believe humans built it without modern machines. Think about it. This pyramid, built for King Khufu, stands taller than most buildings today. It has over 2 million huge stone blocks, some weighing as much as an elephant. How did they cut these stones so perfectly? How did they move them from faraway quarries? And how did they lift them hundreds of feet into the air to create such a smooth, strong shape? For many years, people thought ramps were used, but a study published in the Journal of Ancient Egyptian Architecture in 2021 showed that the traditional long, straight ramps would have to be incredibly steep or incredibly long, taking up more space than the pyramid itself. This makes the ramp theory much harder to believe for the top parts. The stones are so tightly packed together that you can't even slip a piece of paper between them. This amazing precision is found throughout the pyramid. Ancient texts and pictures show us some tools they had, like copper chisels and wooden mallets. But these simple tools don't seem strong enough to cut granite, one of the hardest stones, with such perfect straight lines. According to Dr. Zahi Hawass, a famous Egyptian archaeologist, the level of engineering skill needed was mind-boggling, even by today's standards. Some theories even suggest that the ancient Egyptians had knowledge of geometry and engineering that was far more advanced than we give them credit for, perhaps even involving methods we haven't rediscovered. Then there's the mystery of the Giza Plateau itself. Not just Khufu's pyramid, but the whole layout. The three main pyramids are lined up almost perfectly with Orion's belt, a star group, as it looked in 10,500 BC. This idea, called the Orion correlation theory, was made popular by authors like Robert Bauval. While many traditional archaeologists like those from the American Research Center in Egypt prefer more practical explanations, the precise alignment of these massive structures with celestial bodies at a specific point in time continues to baffle. Was it just a coincidence? Or did the ancient Egyptians have a deeper, secret knowledge of astronomy and the heavens than we understand? This level of astronomical observation would have required extremely precise instruments and calculations, far beyond what we typically imagine for that time period. Another deep puzzle involves the Sphinx, that giant creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human. It sits right in front of the Great Pyramid. Who built it? And more importantly, when? Most historians believe it was built around 2500 BC, at the same time as Khufu's pyramid, and that the face is that of Pharaoh Khafre. But there's a problem. The Sphinx shows clear signs of being worn away by water. Not just a little, but a lot, especially on its sides. Egypt is a very dry desert today, and it hasn't had huge amounts of rain for thousands of years. Geologists like Dr. Robert Schoch from Boston University have argued that this water erosion suggests the Sphinx must be much, much older, perhaps built when Egypt had a wetter climate, possibly between 700 and 1500 BC. This would mean it was built long before the pharaohs we know of, by a civilization that we have no other record of building such massive stone structures. A paper presented at the Geological Society of America's annual meeting in 1992 outlined these geological findings, suggesting a much older age based on weathering patterns. If the Sphinx is truly that old, it changes everything we think we know about the timeline of ancient Egypt and early human civilization. It would mean an advanced society existed far earlier than current historical records suggest. Consider the strange tale of the missing pharaohs. One of the most famous and powerful queens of Egypt was Nefertiti. Her beauty is legendary, captured in the famous bust that sits in a museum in Berlin. But where is her body? Where is her tomb? Despite countless searches, her burial place has never been found. She vanished from history around 1330 BC, and her absence leaves a giant hole in our understanding of that time. According to an article in National Geographic in 2015, many archaeologists believe her tomb is still hidden somewhere in the Valley of the Kings, perhaps even within a secret chamber connected to another tomb, like that of her stepson, Tutankhamun. The theory gained much attention when Egyptologist Nicholas Reeves suggested there might be a secret door in Tutankhamun's tomb leading to Nefertiti's burial chamber. Using ground-penetrating radar, researchers found what seemed like hidden spaces behind the walls. While initial scans showed promising signs, follow-up investigations have been inconclusive, leaving the mystery unsolved. Imagine finding a whole new, untouched tomb for someone so important. What treasures and knowledge would it hold? The very idea keeps archaeologists on the edge of their seats, knowing that one of the most powerful women in history might still be waiting to be found. Speaking of King Tut, his tomb was found almost perfectly preserved, filled with incredible golden treasures. But even his story has a mystery. DNA tests on his mummy and other royal mummies have shown that his parents were likely siblings, which was common in royal families to keep the bloodline pure. However, a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in 2010 revealed that Tutankhamun suffered from several health problems, including a bone disease, a club foot, and malaria, likely due to this inbreeding. What truly killed him at such a young age, around 19, remains a topic of debate among scientists and historians. Was it disease, an accident, or something more sinister? For a long time, people thought he was murdered because of a blow to the head found on his skull. But later studies, using advanced CT scans, showed that the head injury likely happened after death, during the mummification process. So, while we know a lot about his lavish life and death, the exact cause of his demise remains a riddle. The fact that he was buried so quickly and in a smaller, repurposed tomb also adds to the mystery, making some wonder if his death was sudden and unexpected, perhaps even a cover-up for a more complex political situation. Let's dive into the lost city of Avaris. This was the capital city of the Hyksos, a group of foreign rulers who took over parts of Egypt around 1650 BC. They ruled for about 100 years before being driven out by Egyptian pharaohs. Avaris was a huge, bustling city, bigger than many cities today, and a major trade hub. But after the Hyksos were defeated, the city seems to have vanished from memory. Archaeologists have been digging at a site called Tel El Dabeh in the Nile Delta, and they believe this is where Avaris once stood. However, much of the city is still hidden, buried deep under farmland and modern towns. What makes Avaris so mysterious is not just its hidden location, but the surprising things found there. Digs have revealed Minoan-style frescoes, similar to those found on the Greek island of Crete. This shows a level of cultural exchange that was much more intense than previously thought. As detailed in reports from the Austrian Archaeological Institute, the discovery of these sophisticated frescoes suggests a powerful connection between Egypt and the Minoan civilization, perhaps even shared artistry or direct immigration. How did these Minoan artists come to Egypt, and why were their artworks so prominently featured in the Hyksos capital? It opens up questions about ancient global trade and the true identity of the Hyksos rulers themselves. Moving on to ancient technology. How did the Egyptians carve incredibly detailed hieroglyphs and statues out of hard stones like granite and diorite? These stones are so tough that even modern tools struggle with them. Yet, the Egyptians created perfect, smooth surfaces and intricate details with apparent ease. Some carvings show tiny, precise holes that look like they were made by power drills. How could they achieve this without electricity or advanced machinery? Dr. Chris Naunton, former director of the Egypt Exploration Society, has discussed in various lectures the astounding skill needed. One theory suggests that they used a method called trepanning, where they would slowly grind away the stone using sand or quartz mixed with water and specialized copper or bronze tools. This would be incredibly slow and laborious. Another idea, proposed by engineer Christopher Dunn in his book, Lost Technologies of Ancient Egypt, suggests that the tools they used must have been far more advanced than simple copper and sand, possibly using some form of ultrasonic vibration or harder, unknown materials. The sheer scale and precision of these works, like the perfectly symmetrical vases made from solid diorite, continue to challenge our understanding of their capabilities. The Serapeum of Saqqara is another place filled with unanswered questions. It's an underground network of tunnels and chambers, built to house the mummified sacred Apis bulls. These bulls were seen as living gods. When an Apis bull died, it was mummified and buried in a huge, polished granite sarcophagus. There are over 20 such sarcophagi in the Serapeum, each weighing up to 100 tons. These boxes are made of incredibly hard stone, perfectly cut and polished inside and out, with lids that fit so precisely it's almost impossible to open them today. How did the Egyptians move these giant, heavy, and fragile sarcophagi through narrow, dark tunnels? And how did they manage to cut and polish them with such perfect right angles and smooth surfaces? The precision is so high that some researchers like Brian Forster from the Hidden Inca Tours have pointed out the difficulty, even with modern machinery, to achieve such results. The official explanation involves sledges and ramps, but fitting such a massive stone box through the tight passages and then lowering it into its chamber without damaging it seems an almost impossible feat. The sheer engineering required to build and maintain the Serapeum and to create those sarcophagi is a testament to skills we still struggle to fully comprehend. What about the Ankh symbol? It's the most famous symbol from ancient Egypt, looking like a cross with a loop at the top. It means life, or breath of life. We see it everywhere in Egyptian art, held by gods and pharaohs. But where did it come from? What was its true, original meaning? While modern interpretations link it to life, fertility, and rebirth, its very first use and the exact reason for its unique shape remain a mystery. Scholars from the University of Chicago's Oriental Institute have extensively documented its prevalence, yet its true symbolic origin is still debated. Some theories link it to a sandal strap, others to a mirror, or even a key to unlock the secrets of life and death. The Ankh's enduring power and mysterious beginnings make it a symbol that continues to fascinate. Another baffling enigma is the bent pyramid of Sneferu at Dashur. It's called bent because its angle suddenly changes halfway up, going from a steep 54-degree slope to a gentler 43 degrees. Why did they change the angle mid-construction? The most common explanation, as detailed in many archaeological texts, is that cracks started to appear in the internal chambers due to the steep angle, forcing the builders to change the slope to prevent collapse. But some argue that this explanation is too simple. Could it be that they realized their calculations were wrong for the original angle and had to adapt quickly? Or perhaps, as some alternative theories suggest, there was a sudden need to finish the pyramid quickly for a dying pharaoh, and a shallower angle allowed faster completion? The bent pyramid stands as a monument to either a massive engineering mistake or a hasty, practical solution to an unforeseen problem, reminding us that even the greatest builders faced challenges and sometimes had to change their plans dramatically, leaving behind a permanent puzzle in stone. The Valley of the Kings holds the tombs of many pharaohs, but not all of them. What happened to the mummy of Alexander the Great? He conquered Egypt in 332 BC and was crowned pharaoh. After his death, his body was mummified and brought to Egypt, supposedly buried in a magnificent tomb in Alexandria. Ancient writers like Diodorus Siculus describe his grand procession and burial, but despite centuries of searching, his tomb has never been found. According to a 2019 report in Archaeology magazine, various sites in Alexandria have been excavated, but no definitive evidence of his tomb has emerged. His final resting place remains one of the greatest archaeological holy grails. Was it destroyed? Hidden away to protect it from grave robbers? Or is it still waiting to be discovered beneath the bustling streets of modern Alexandria? The thought of finding the mummy of one of history's greatest military leaders, especially in the context of an Egyptian pharaoh, is a dream for any archaeologist, and the mystery surrounding it only grows with time. Finally, let's consider the ancient Egyptian light bulb. In the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, there are carvings that look strikingly similar to giant light bulbs. These carvings show figures holding what appears to be a large, glowing bulb with a snake-like filament inside, connected to a power source. While mainstream Egyptologists, like those from the Egyptology department at the University of Cambridge, explain these carvings as symbolic representations, perhaps of a lotus flower or a creation myth, some alternative theorists propose a more literal interpretation. Could ancient Egyptians have possessed some form of electrical knowledge or advanced lighting technology? If so, why are there no other clear records or tools to support this? The temple walls are usually full of practical scenes and tools used in daily life or rituals. These light bulb images are unique and stand out. While likely symbolic, their visual resemblance to modern technology keeps the debate alive, forcing us to ask, did the Egyptians really have secrets about light and energy that we are only now starting to understand, or are we simply seeing what we want to see in the shadows of their ancient art? These unsolved mysteries are not just old stories. They are like giant question marks etched in stone and sand, asking us to look deeper, to question what we think we know. They challenge our ideas about how smart ancient people were, what they believed, and what they could really do. From the impossible perfection of the pyramids to the vanishing tombs of queens, ancient Egypt continues to be a land of endless wonder and hidden truths. And with every new discovery, new questions arise, ensuring that the magic and mystery of this incredible civilization will continue to captivate us for many more centuries to come. The sands hold many secrets, and perhaps, just perhaps, the biggest ones are yet to be revealed.